A lot of people joke that it's impossible to draw her face, so I decided to take the challenge and show how a well-planned process can make everything much simpler than it looks. I choose a frontal pose with strong symmetry. I begin marking the general triangular structure that guides the alignment of the eyes. I divided that top space into 3 parts and placed the eyelids, using the central reference of the pupils to keep everything balanced. First comes the construction with light lines, then the initial shading, mapping the shadows, and filling the areas with hatching. I always preserve a few highlights so the eyes gain presence without exaggeration. For the eyebrows, I follow the direction of the hair using radial hatching. Since the pose is so symmetrical, the transitions stay soft and the textures only come at the end. Small adjustments on the top of a clean structure already create a very natural result. Moving to the nose, the triangle helps again by placing everything in the right spot. The pose is almost perfectly symmetrical, so I use simple geometric planes to define the form. After marking the basic structure, I lightly map the tones, observing the borders that wrap around the tip. These are areas of midtones that guide the transition from light to shadow. Because the lighting is centered, both sides of the nose stay balanced, which reinforces the symmetry. I then soften the first hatching layers and add more precise strokes over them until the transition looks natural. The goal here is to make the nose feel integrated into the face without relying on strong outlines. For the mouth, I start with a simplified shape and let volumes appear through shading. There's very little contour, especially on the upper lip and the inner corners. The shadow cast by the nose creates a smooth gradient over the mouth, and the shadow on the philtrum is subtle as well. All of this creates an overall sense of calm and stability in the pose. That's why my filling is done with light strokes. I avoid giving more emphasis than necessary, and the final shape of the lips stay clean and minimal, matching the balanced, harmonious nature of the reference. And even though people joke drawing her face would be impossible, in the end, the construction was completely achievable. The symmetry of the pose ended up helping exactly where the challenge seemed bigger. The result is a portrait that is balanced, precise, and carries that complete harmony many believed would be impossible to reach. If you want to really understand how portrait drawing works, start by learning proportions. You will find my portrait course in the link in my bio. Thank you and see you in the next video.